Well, how's it going, everybody? Great to have you here with us today as we talk to you about the Sowing and Reaping Report for 2021. We are so pumped to present to you a report for where all of our giving and investment went over the last 12 months. We received in the fall last year in 2020 our Good Works offering. And in fact, in the springtime, we received, and the numbers are going to come up on your screen, but we received in the springtime last year, without even presenting the offering, $21,214 from people who knew that Good Works was something that we were going to do and gave that money. Then we were able then to receive, as we presented the Good Works vision in the fall of last year, $74,963 for a grand total of $96,117 as a church.
Honestly, and I just think that that is amazing. And as we started to decide what we were going to do this year, we really felt like we wanted to incorporate something every year, something that we are now calling our Sowing and Reaping Report. Because as many of you know, for us, transparency with the Good Works offering has been really important. With our finances as a church, really important. And we think it's important to show you exactly where every dollar was spent from the Good Works offering. And honestly, as we were putting this together, we couldn't help but be moved. And I genuinely started reading through it and I had tears in my eyes, just thinking about the kind of things that we have been able to do as a church, able to give to as a church, as such a young church, throughout the middle of a pandemic. And so really, we just want to say, before we really dive into it, we want to say thank you, church.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much for being so generous-hearted, for being thoughtful of people beyond ourselves, moving beyond who we are as a church and saying, you know what, we're going to make a difference in our world, in our community, in our local community. We are going to help the people around us.
Ephesians 2:10 says that we're His masterpiece, created for good works.
Yeah.
In other words, as Christ followers, in Alpha they call it Christians. You know, what's a Christian without Christ? Ian. You know, but as Christians, we're called to do good works, to do great things in the community. And we were able to contribute $3,000 into the Out of the Cold ministry. And we're going to hear from Jim Pott from Knox Presbyterian Church in just a minute. But in short, we were able to provide over 600 meals for those experiencing homelessness in our city, of which there are way too many, and we need to help people who are in this situation. And to provide over 600 meals.
Incredible. Yeah.
And so Jim Pott is about to just share with you a few of his thoughts. There'll be a few photos of the ministry as well. So Jim, over to you.
Hey, hi Liberty City Church. This is Jim from Knox Presbyterian. I really want to say, first of all, that we are ever so thankful for all of your generosity towards our Out of the Cold program. As many of you know, that's a dinner that we've been offering for, I think it's just over 26 years now, in our basement, the very same place where Liberty City Church used to worship. Remember those days, pre-COVID? We couldn't continue that because of COVID, but we did decide to continue it in a different way by offering a takeout meal, and we ended up doing it twice a week rather than just our regular Saturday nights. Bottom line is this: with all of the donations that your church has given to this particular ministry, you might not be aware of this. Well over 600 meals offered to people in our community who are in need. And that's in addition to all of the other offerings and donations that your church has been doing this past year. 600 meals to people in need. So you've been a big part of the Out of the Cold program at Knox. So thank you very, very much.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Jim, and church. What an incredible thing we have been able to do in our city. One of the other things we were able to do as a church through the Good Works offering was to continue to support Mama Imara and the Imani Clinic and the work that they do in Uganda. And really, that is something that is dear to our heart. We have been able to help those mums and help those babies experience good health care, experience the love that is required at such a crucial time, and to even receive ongoing healthcare after they have given birth. And so it's been an absolute pleasure to do that. And so we're going to hand over and hear some of the stories and see some photos of the impact that we've been able to make over in Uganda.
My name is Diane Lockhart. I'm the founder and senior midwife in Imani Family Centre. We run this small birth centre in one of the slum communities in Kampala, where we provide free care for mothers who are pregnant through their labour and after they have their babies. We've just been so blessed this last year and a half to have Rebecca, and I believe that Rebecca's salary is being sponsored by Liberty Church. As I say to everybody who gives money to anything to do with the clinic, it's very hard to actually let you see the enormity and the value of the support that you give us. I know that you're so far away, I know that you haven't experienced life here, but if you could only see the difference that it makes. Rebecca, because of her salary, she's a single mother, she has a little boy, she works incredibly hard, and just even over the last 18 months, her confidence, her skills have just grown exponentially. They've just been wonderful. And she's now actually teaching another young midwife. So thank you so much to Liberty Church. Rebecca has been such a blessing to us.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much. I don't know how much, but I'm really happy to know that I'm loved by you, and I'm really happy that I'm known by you. I also think it's God that made me meet you all, and I love you all.
The Bible says in the book of James 1:27 that religion that God receives as pure and faultless, isn't that brilliant, is looking after the widows and orphans in their distress. Yeah. And those in need, the Bible says. God is honoured when we help those in need in the Proverbs. And when we start to think about Mama Imara and those in desperation in the slums in Uganda, we think about our own country, and those that are overrepresented in those categories are the Indigenous communities of our country. And so we were able to partner with our friend Steve Carlton and the Arctic Hope Project and invest $1,000 into his work in Nunavut in the far north with the Indigenous communities of our country to see them brought up out of poverty and receive health care and provide programs, and for many receive the gospel and for many respond to the gospel.
Well, hey, Liberty City Church, my name is Stephen Carlton, president of the Bill Prankett Evangelistic Association. You guys partnered with us last year, and we just wanted to take a quick moment to thank you for your partnership. The Arctic Hope Project, which is our kind of Arctic missions profile, was started in 2014, 6.5 years ago. It's crazy, it's gone by that fast. The whole purpose and vision of that ministry, of our work now, is to bring hope to Inuit young people in the north. Suicide prevention and leadership development is really the main driver of the Arctic Hope Project, and COVID really shut everything down last year. Obviously, no one was traveling or ministering at all, but because of your partnership, because of your pastors, Levi and Nadia, you know, your partnership really made sure that we stayed strong throughout the year. We weren't traveling, so what we began to do is we began to disciple Inuit young people in different communities. The DNA of this ministry needs to continue with strength. And so we've been discipling and mentoring young people across different communities. Soon we're going to be sending teams from community to community. You know, we just need to see this work continue. So thank you to you guys, to your entire church, to your pastors, Levi and Nadia, for partnering with the Arctic Hope Project. We so appreciate it, and we can't do this work without you guys. So bless you, believing that 2021 will be your best year ever.
The other thing we've been able to do more locally is with $39,000 able to contribute to the salary, 2 part-time salaries of the one and only Nadia Mary Church and the one and only Dallin Humphrey. Dallin coming on staff as our office manager and Nadia coming on staff obviously as the lead pastor of the church with a specific focus on leading our women's ministry, pastoring the women, the growing group of women in the church. And so it's just been truly brilliant to have both of them come on staff. And so Nads and Dallin were able to come on staff because we received in the Good Works offering from 2020 their first 12 months of their salary. And so church was so thrilled. Thank you so much. A breath of fresh air. And getting the ratios right of men to women on staff too has also been absolutely wonderful.
One of the other things that we've been able to do is really make a difference in our local community, and for us that is really important. We want to be the kind of church who can see a need in our community and actually respond to it, not kind of stand back and say, you know what, the city council can deal with that, you know what, this group can deal with that. We want to be the kind of church that says, you know what, no, if we can do something, we are going to do it. And so it has been a real joy to be able to really step out and make a difference in our local community. And we did that in a various number of ways. At the start of the pandemic, we were able to provide groceries to families who weren't able to get food at the start of the pandemic. So we were able to deliver food baskets all over our city to people who really needed that extra hand up. And I just think that's amazing that we are a church here in Ottawa and that we've been able to be the hands and feet of Jesus in our local community and being able to respond quickly, not held back by things, just saying, you know what, yes, we need to make a difference right here and right now.
We are positioned right downtown in Centretown, downtown Ottawa, because that's where our church office is. And we were so thankful to be able to receive last year $15,000 for the renovation of that space. And many of you haven't been there because of the way that life is at the moment with stay-at-home orders. However, many of you would have seen it through our early preaching in 2020.
We moved beyond the spare room.
Our early, yeah, that's right, spare room office in now Southminster. The worship nights originally were there back in the days of the Cajon, and that space has become for us a hub. It's become the centerpiece of our church where we're able to grow teams and invest in volunteers, have prayer meetings, gather as a staff, and really see the church grow and move forward. And the before and after photos that you're seeing right now will show the space of what it was and what it has become. And we're so grateful that money has been invested into that space and has really been for us a gift that keeps on giving.
Hey, one of the other things we've been able to do is invest $1,000 into ARC, which is
the Association of Related Churches.
Amazing. We wouldn't be where we are today without the investment from other churches into our church. And so we really believe it's important to continue to sow into other churches. And so with that $1,000, we were able to be a part of 3 different church plants right here in Canada that started in the middle of the pandemic. And so we're just so grateful for that.
Canada needs more churches.
It does.
The world does. And to think that we helped 3 churches plant this year in 2020, truly amazing. One of the things that is a necessary evil sometimes of church growth is capital purchases, things, toys, stuff. We were able to receive last year $5,000 for the purchase of a brand new keyboard, which we needed.
Praise Jesus.
Apparently it's broken. I couldn't hear it, but all the musicians were like,
we all heard it, bang,
yeah.
It was awesome.
And then the other thing is the camera that we're speaking to today, and camera B, supplementary camera. We were able to buy camera, stand, tripod, everything that it needs, as well as that keyboard, to really continue to elevate our church to a position of providing excellent content online.
Hey guys, Chris here. Just touching on the audio and production side of things, and where some of the sowing, the giving that you guys gave ended up and what it turned into. So in this area, $5,000 was allocated thanks to your giving, your sowing, and we were able to grab some things like a new drum kit, which is incredible. Grab a new piece of audio recording gear. And again, these things couldn't have come at a better time, as we obviously jumped online around this time during the good work season. Our reach has been greater, and so through your sowing, the reaping has been things like people in other countries tuning in, wanting to watch the worship, people from other countries sending emails asking if they can receive the links to the worship, even the links to the full service, obviously, because worship is a part of the full service. And so it's enabled us to expand just a reach, just due to the excellence that has come out of these new purchases. So we just want to say thank you so much.
The next thing we gave to last year was we gave $1,000 to the women's ministry.
Yeah, we were able to have a great night, and it was the first time that we kind of really called it Allies. And Allies was just a hit. We had people from all over the world tuning in and being a part of that night. And for me, that night was a real delight, just seeing our women come together and really see kind of just a global reach. It was unintentional. We didn't mean for that to happen, but it did happen. And obviously there's something brewing in the women of our church. And I'm certainly really excited about the future of that. And so we were able to invest $1,000 into that night, into making that night happen, which was just so much fun. But we see so much more for the future.
But 2020 provided for us COVID-19. Thank you so much.
And in the midst of that,
in the middle of that time,
we needed a hero.
A man of power for the hour.
A man of power for the hour, who knew not only creativity, who knew not only how to work a camera, who knew not only editing, and it was crazy because
and stepped in came the great Englishman,
Christopher
Spencer.
Chris Spencer.
And so we needed a lift in the quality of our video production and editing.
Help.
And he's like, hey, I run Peking Zebra. You know, this is what I do for a job. You know, like, oh, could you help us? And so we invested over the last 12 months, just over $22,000 to make sure that Chris was paid for his work. And so for many people in the church, Chris volunteers as our worship pastor.
He does a lot of voluntary stuff.
And so does.
But he's still he needs to live and stuff.
You've got to keep the lights on, fam. Yeah. And so we were stoked to be able to invest that into his business and into his life. Yeah. And then provide for our online church experience, high quality, week in, week out, great worship, brilliant preaching and emceeing.
We are all so grateful that we've been able to still stay connected through our online platform, through our online church, and it couldn't have been done without the investment into that area. And so we're so grateful, Chris. Thank you so much. And church, we're so grateful that we were in a position to be able to make that happen.
Someone smart who's done the math has realized that all the money that we've given to you today and added up doesn't equal $96,000. No. You're right, it doesn't. It's more than.
Goes over.
Because we needed to pivot, and so we took some money and rearranged it from our operational budget. So we're really presenting to you all of the good works, plus a little bit more that we invested to make sure that 2020 and the start of this year was a success.
Well, we wanted to go a bit further in helping people in our community,
another
mile, and we also wanted to be able to make sure that we had online services.
And so we're sorry if we were able to bless people, We are grateful.
So grateful.
We hope you've enjoyed the journey of the Sowing and Reaping Report. This will not be the last one, but it is our very first one. And from the bottom of our heart, from our staff and the board, we are thankful and grateful for your giving. Really looking forward to Good Works 2021. But for Good Works 2020, Sowing and Reaping, that's us.
That's us.
Signing
Thank you,
off.
church. We love you. And
Roll with the Landon's picks.